Hello. I'm sure you guys notice a bit of a difference in today's setup. Not only do I have a ring light that is basically letting me know my glasses are dirty. Oh, please. If my lips are straight, my glasses aren't. Okay, that's much better. Now, I am sure you guys can tell that my setup is different. I have a ring light. I have a microphone. I probably shouldn't hold the microphone like this, but I'm just like, it's so exciting to have one. So I'm just like holding it because I have a microphone. All right, I got the ring light from my job. Technically, I won Employee of the Month in March, and so I bought myself a ring light. And then I got this recently, like last month or earlier this month, because I was just like, let's just beef up your content. I want to start doing more sit down videos on top of my right hand is itching. If you're superstitious, you know that means you're gonna get some money soon. So I'm gonna get some money soon. But I'm not really superstitious. That's not what we're here to talk about, shall we? Let's move on. We are here to talk about something specific. If you saw the title of this video, then you know what we're here to talk about. If you've been on social media within the past week or so, then you will know that there was an interview conducted recently, I believe last week. Well, it was posted last week, done by the channel Dear Future Wifey. And he was interviewing Danae Jackson, who is the ex-wife of relationship guru Derek Jackson. I watched I Am Aloho's video initially about it, and that's how I found out about it. And I was like, okay, I'm curious. My thought process was just go in blind and listen to her. And I have to say, after going in blind and listening to her, I am very much in awe. She opened up so much. She told her story, and I know most people will say things like, well, there's two sides to every story, his and hers, or they'll say there are three sides to every story, his, hers, and the truth. And unless he decides to put out a tell-all, do an interview talking about his experience in the relationship, we won't know anything. We can only go off of what she's told us thus far, and on top of that, the interviews and the stuff that he has already confessed to online. But she opened up. She was very transparent. She was so honest. She was very delightful. She was very funny, but it's a specific type of funny. I get very dry sense of humor from her. I just really enjoyed the interview. But the big thing that really made me want to sit down and do this video is, as I was sitting and watching her, I felt like I was watching myself. I felt like Shelby as a person was giving a play-by-play or expressing what she went through when she was dating. And so that's why I wanted to sit down today and just speak about my takeaways, the things that struck out for me specifically based upon I am not going to tell her story. I'm not. She already did that. If you want to watch her interviews, I will link them both down below. Please watch them after this. Please watch them after this. This is my takeaways, the things that I've learned, and how basically her story relates to mine. And so that's all I'm here to do. So if you're interested in seeing that, hearing what I have to say, then please stick around. I pray that you stick around and watch. The main takeaway that I have is take accountability. Now, if you're on social media, in 2023, you hear that there's so many conversations about accountability, but I don't think people use that correctly. When I hear most people say take accountability, it sounds like they're saying, so you got with a person that was abusive, it's your fault that you got abused. Take accountability for picking that person. But that's not what I think accountability is meant to be. I don't think accountability is meant to shame. And I think that is the problem, the missing thing that I think a lot of people, missing link, that I think a lot of people aren't understanding in relationships. That accountability is not meant to shame you. I don't think shame works at all, to be honest, because there is a way to hold people accountable without shaming them for the decisions they make. Accountability is acknowledging the fact that I knew that this person was doing X, Y, and Z. Why did I come back? If I related to myself, and I would relate all of these takes to myself, because I feel like, how can I sit here and be open and give these things and then not share my experience? I've dealt with guys who have made it known to me from the beginning that they didn't want a relationship. Now, they knew that I wanted a relationship as well, but I also knew on multiple occasions that they didn't want one. I could have easily said, okay, chuck my deuces and be out, but I didn't, because I was like, well, you're dealing with me. You're going to fall in love with me, and then you're going to want a relationship. And when that never happened, I'm like, you're the trashiest trash bag of a person ever. Well, I have to take accountability for the fact that, well, he let me know his standards from the beginning. He let me know from the beginning that he didn't want a relationship. He let me know from the beginning that that's not what he wanted. Now, granted, he knew what I wanted too. That's why he should take accountability, but I am not responsible for somebody else's accountability. I'm responsible for my own. She said she was an equal participant in everything that she everything that she endured. I take accountability for the fact that a lot of the hurt, the tears, the depression, the sadness that I experienced it willingly. I was a willing participant in it, thinking he's going to come around. He's going to come around. He's going to realize my value. He's going to see my value. He's going to realize that I'm the best thing since sliced bread and that he should want to be with me. And then it doesn't happen. And then I'm heartbroken and sad. And I have to own up to the fact that the years of me dating before I met my boyfriend, I put up with all of it. As people, we have to do better with taking accountability for how we are equally participating in some of the trauma and some of the hurt that we experience, some of the depressive places that we end up in. So that's number one. Let's move on to number two. Everything you want is not what you need. I could relate it to my dating life. There were dudes that I wanted that were not what I needed. They were not friendly. They were not kind. They were not supportive. I'd support them. I'd show out for them and show up for them, but they wouldn't do the same for me. But then I also can relate this to my career. I want to be able to go and just fly out overseas tomorrow, but I got to work. I want to be able to go to the store, go to Target and spend $100 and not be worried about a bill. But I have sponsorabilities, and so I can't just do that. I live a regular, schmegular life. And I can see other people living lives and I'd be like, I want that, but maybe that's not what you need. I always also relate this to like my acting. I always sometimes beat myself up because I'm like, well, why did I get into acting when I was a kid? Who knows what would have happened to me if I was a child and I was trying to do theater and acting and all of those things. I was gullible at 25. Imagine how gullible I was as a teenager. I was taught well, but I was too gullible. I feel like if I had left and done these things when I was younger, I could have gotten into so many different things that could have ruined my life. God's wisdom is so much bigger than our own, and he knows what we need when we need it. There's this girl on social media. Her name is Ariel Fitzpatrick. Well, she does these skits where she's talking to God about a particular guy. And God will say to her, well, I like him. He's this. And God's like, no, he's not for you. And she sits there for a minute and she's just like, I'm going to see for myself. I love it because I was her. I would constantly be seeing for myself. And you know what they say? When you mess around, you're going to find out. Sometimes the attractive man is not for you. Sometimes the high-paying job is not for you. Sometimes that attractive friend group is not for you. And God will bring you the right man. He will bring you the right job. And he will bring you the right support system and friends. And that kind of segues into the next thing. When God lets someone leave, when God removes somebody from your life, let them stay God. When I first started talking to a guy, I would pray, Lord, if this man is not meant for my good, remove him. When I tell you, like clockwork, they would be gone. They were gone. And I would just be like, well, why are they always leaving? You were praying for it, sis. So my ex really liked me. He really wanted to be with me, but we worked in this acting group. Apparently the people in the group told him, do not pursue Shelby. Leave Shelby alone. I didn't know this happened. I did not know that happened. Let me say that again. I did not know that happened. He would text me in private. He would take me out in private, like all of these things, everything. He would want to kick it with me in private. And I didn't know where he stopped talking to me. So at that point, I'm like, well, I'm liking him. Why is he stepping away? What's going on? What's going on? And we sat down and we had a conversation, and he told me he can't really pursue me. He met someone else. That was a quick jump, but okay. I hope you're happy. Have fun. Do you, partner? Where I have to take accountability is around that time I became friends with a coworker of his. They were not friends. I just want to make that clear. They were not friends. They were not homies. They didn't know each other for years. They were coworkers. Now, granted, he and I never kissed. Me and my ex at that point, we never did anything that would solidify this as being a relationship. So me talking to his coworker, I feel like I'm allowed to. Right? Out of nowhere, he jumps back into my life. He starts texting, he starts calling, he starts saying he wants to do this, he wants to take me on dates. Now, I had a choice to make. I could have been like, no, you have somebody that you're pursuing, go pursue her. I'm good. Or I could have said yes. What do you think I said? We became boyfriend and girlfriend somehow. One of my worst initial decisions I could have ever made in my dating life is letting him come back into my life. Because not only were you treating me like a second choice, you only came back because you were jealous. When God frees you from something, he is freeing you from it for a reason. And I know people like to say, well, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. Not necessarily. Because if you didn't treat me right when you had me, why now do I think all of a sudden you coming back into my life means you're going to treat me any better? What signs have you shown? What proof have you shown that you're going to treat me better? I promise you, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to come back with good intentions. And it hurts. And it's painful. And it doesn't feel good. But trust me when I tell you, the end result, what I went through because I kept these people in my life longer than I should have, it wasn't worth it. In the end, have I learned so much? Have I gained so much? Like people always say, don't regret. No, I regret keeping these people in my life. Do I regret the lessons that I learned from it? No. I'm pretty sure the God that I serve is awesome enough to have brought me those lessons without that pain. Let's move on to the next one. The messenger matters sometimes. I love comment sections. Not love. I like going to the comment section sometimes because I just like to see what people think. And there was a comment on one of the videos, and if I can find it and I can put it here, I will. But somebody was like, well, his message is still good. I remember when Derek Jackson first popped off on social media. I was dealing with messed up dudes, and his message resonated with me so much. I was one of the women that sopped up like a biscuit and gravy his message. So when I heard about the cheating scandal, because the first cheating scandal, the first time we heard about it was when they sat down together and they did the video. And so the way it was perceived from me was he was cheating, for maybe a certain period of time in their marriage. And now it came out, and so they're having to sit down. Still trash. If you watch the interview, you will realize it's far worse than just he cheated for 5 months and they're married. Years of the lack of loyalty, lack of faith, lack of trust, all of that. So I say that to say, If you are a person that used to cheat on your spouse, you both talked about it, you worked through it, you worked through the pain, you worked through the harm that the two of you, that you did to your spouse and to your marriage, and you're not cheating at all anymore. You took accountability for it and you stopped. And now you're like, okay, I'm going to come out and tell you guys, this is what happens when you cheat. This is the harm that causes to your spouse. This is the harm it causes to you, to your children, to your family. I can listen to that messenger. You lived it, you got the t-shirt, and now you can help other people to not do it. But if you are a person that is actively in the process of cheating on your spouse, that's why I have a problem with the message. It's hypocritical. I want to jump in here and say that I am not expecting human beings to be perfect, infallible, or without spot or wrinkle. We are human beings. We make mistakes. We are flawed. So I'm not saying in order for you to go on social media and give a message about anything that you have to be perfect. The videos and the message that he was putting out for years on social media, telling us as women, because most of his videos were geared to women, telling us as women what we should and should not expect from a significant other, from a partner, from whoever. He was not being that thing to his wife at home. He was being the exact opposite thing that he was telling us to accept. So how are you then standing here and telling me what I should accept when your wife is literally accepting the exact opposite at home? And you're okay with giving that to your wife. That's where I'm coming from with the messenger matters. Life is a journey. We're trying to get this thing figured out on the way to wherever it is we're trying to get to. A person that is constantly on the journey to realizing the mistakes they made, realizing how they can do things better, is different than a person who gives off a message as if they have arrived. And that is what I got from him. I got the message, the feeling that he arrived and that he was perfect in this area, and he now knows how to get women in these healthy relationships when he himself was not in a healthy relationship. I hope that makes sense. I hope. Next point. Social media is harmful. Social media is harmful for the way that we gang up and harm other people. When the video came out of Danae and her ex in their living room speaking about the infidelity, the way that we, and I say we even though I didn't do it, because I take ownership of if I partake in mess. I did not partake in the, well, look at her. Why wouldn't he cheat? I mean, look at how she presents herself. Like, I can understand if I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to go online with my husband about his cheating, I'm going to go in tip-top shape. Women have said this to me on social media. That woman could have wore a burlap sack with a paper bag over her forehead. It would never have made his actions any more right. And this is what I said. Do you think you're going to cheat on me? My husband being a public figure, and then I'm going to get all dolled up and get on social media in the middle of a panini, might I add, and basically show y'all that he's an idiot by looking my best? Not to mention, again, if you watch the interview, she was dealing with a lot at that time. So you mean to tell me that I need to make myself look presentable for y'all? It's baffling to me that we just turned around and we just ate her up. We ate her up. It used to be so fun. I remember when we went on social media and we were just having fun, taking photos. It was allowing us the opportunity to connect with people. And I think in some places, in some spaces, it is still that. But the spaces that get the most clicks, the most views, that are most popular, are those spaces where people are giving crazy takes, speaking crazy ideas, and bashing other people. And it's just not okay. I think about what happened, with Meg Thee Stallion. The way that the internet went against her, it's just social media is just not a healthy place for people to be if you're not in a healthy mindset. or unless you're just that hard of a person, that type of stuff doesn't affect you. Now, granted, did she curse people? Yes. You do play a part in how you're perceived online. I understand that social media has the power to do so many good things. I am here doing something that I love to do. I love to sit and talk. In case you can't tell. I love showing you guys aspects of my life. I just love that. It can change people's lives. I'm using this as a tool to change my life. But as a collective, the harm that it has done on our society is insurmountable. Because it does so much to affect people internally. And that's not okay. And how we treated Danae was not okay. And I'm saying it. It wasn't. Now, let's move on to my final point. It is imperative for us to heal. And healing looks different for everybody. But healing first starts, based upon what I've learned, with addressing how you feel. Acknowledging the pain that you're having and healing. And working on changing your mindset. I don't think that everything is mindset, but healing, the first step to that is addressing how you view yourself. I was bullied for years as a kid. Every which way. Family, friends, classmates. A lot of people bullied me. And that shapes who you think you are as an adult. I've been touched inappropriately by people. People that should not have touched me inappropriately. People close to me. Men. That stuff affects you. And when you are a person that is dealing with this deep-seated, deeply rooted trauma, it is important that you do the work to heal. And again, like I said, some people might not have access to therapy. But if you go to church and you have a spiritual counselor, talk to them. If you have a person that you trust in your life, like a friend or a close relative, that you know, I can go to this person and tell them I'm going through something, and they will not criticize me, they will not judge me, they won't look at me like I'm crazy, go to that person. Even if you can't talk to nobody, journal your thoughts. Do the work so that you can heal. So that you can look back and be like, that happened, but it didn't define who I am. I could say so many different other takes, like trust God. Don't give up on life. We need you here just as much as you need me here. And you might not know me. That is community. That is a relationship. That is how this works. As people, we need each other. Don't allow yourself to stay in that hurt, because that can define all of the decisions you make. And for 6 years, I allowed hurt to determine and decide every movement I was making. And I'm thankful that I'm not there anymore. I'm thankful that I'm not that Shelby anymore. I'm thankful that I am a different person. I'm the same, but I'm different. The hurt redefined me, but I don't look like what I've been through. There's just so many different things that that watching that interview brought to my mind. And I wish nothing but the best for Danae and her family. I wish nothing but the best for Derek Jackson. I feel like there's so much to be learned from that interview, so much that can be taken away from it. And I appreciate her being transparent and being open with us, people who do not deserve it. Because again, the collective treated her like trash. That's all. I don't think I have any other thoughts, anything else to say. If you like the video, please be sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe if you like my face. Until next time, give love, don't forget to smile, and remember to always live your passion. Smooches!